They demanded money from me to delete the leaked information. So at first, they demanded around $10 to $20 million. That's about 30 billion Korean won. Oracle kept denying it, but eventually had to admit it. Hello everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Yerim. You know Oracle, right? Recently, as they expanded into AI data centers, interest in Oracle has been growing alongside other cloud giants like Microsoft, AWS, and Google. However, there's been a major incident. A hacking event has occurred. Although the Andalgonghak channel doesn't focus on stocks, it's important to mention that the stock market has been performing poorly recently. Oracle's shares have notably declined, especially around March 20th to 23rd. The hacking incident is quite an intriguing story. The hacker said, "I have already breached your system. Pay up." It all started when the hacker said, "Oracle, call me, contact me." Initially, Oracle responded, "We haven't been hacked. It has nothing to do with us." However, recently Oracle confirmed the hacking incident, and evidence is continuously emerging. Oh, this is indeed a significant breach. Let's delve into the security aspects of cloud computing to grasp the gravity of the situation. Here is what the media has disclosed. They are saying that 6 million data records were stolen, and you can think of these data records as an Excel spreadsheet. Each row is like a record. 6 million of these were stolen. What does this mean? For example, it could be this. The stolen data includes personal details such as names, addresses, phone numbers, and emails, amounting to 6 million records. However, the breach's severity goes beyond just these data records. The main issue is the numerous tenants using Oracle Cloud. Tenants here mean various organizations using the cloud. However, more than 140,000 organizations, essentially customers, have been impacted. This is due to the security breach that I will explain later. In cloud computing, the term tenant is used. To draw a parallel, think of tenants in an apartment building who occupy physical spaces, whether through a lease or monthly rent. However, in the cloud, despite the existence of a physical data center, these spaces are divided and allocated virtually. In other words, they occupy their own unique space. Even if we are in the same building, can we know who lives next door, what furniture they have, when they sleep, and when they wake up? Just like an apartment, cloud services need to be properly secured and protected to be considered well built. Similarly, in cloud services, for example, NVIDIA resides here and Google resides there. Even if there is one physical data center, these organizations use what we call virtual machines. When utilizing virtual machines, they need to be completely secure. However, there emerged a vulnerability that allowed for a simultaneous breach. The hacker responsible for this attack even announced their presence. Where? They posted on breach forums. Their username is Rose8716. This user, who has this specific ID and an animated avatar, had made 11 posts in total. They joined in March 2025, likely to share this information. The post was made on March 21st. He then claims that he can access Oracle Cloud's login server. Shall we take a closer look? Here, you see it starts with hello and says Oracle's traditional server was hacked. He mentioned that he had hacked into the login domain. In the process, 6 million user customers' data was stolen. The data was stolen using SSO and LDAP systems. I'll go into more detail shortly. Moreover, sensitive information such as JKS files, passwords, key files, and JFES keys have been compromised. The hacker has also provided a detailed list of the companies affected by this data breach. These companies were told that if they wanted the leaked data deleted, they should pay him money, and Oracle was given 72 hours to respond to him via email. Initially, he demanded something around $20 million, which is about 30 billion Korean won. However, this didn't quite work out later. So later, they shifted to selling the data as a form of exchange. The JKS file mentioned here is known as a Java key store file. Think of it as a digital vault that securely stores encrypted keys. This file is used to protect communication and verify identity. But all these have been compromised. Passwords are not stored in their original form. Legally, passwords must be encrypted. Using SSO and LDAP, they managed to extract data from 6 million users. Many of you are probably already familiar with SSO. For instance, when we log into Google, we gain access to various services like Gmail, Google Drive, Google Calendar, Google Photos, and many others. SSO, or single sign-on, enables you to access multiple services with just one login. Even though these services might be running on separate servers, they can all be linked through SSO. Think of it as having a master key that unlocks everything. With the master key, open one and everything else opens. It may be convenient, but if one account is hacked, like your Google account, all services could be at risk. That's why multiple authentication steps exist. There is a service called multi-factor authentication, which allows access through various methods such as email, OTP, fingerprint, or phone. Keep this in mind. However, the SSO has been compromised this time. And about LDAP, as mentioned here, it's the Lightweight Directory Access Protocol. It's a set of rules. What kind of rules? In our business applications and smartphone apps, we use them for various purposes like email, user accounts, and accessing printers. To manage these networks efficiently, integrating them centrally is crucial, which is quite similar to the concept of single sign-on. Essentially, this acts like a directory, much like a phone book. You can think of it as a directory that certifies and acknowledges the use of user information to do something, like a company phone book. If this is misused, it holds a lot of information itself. However, if this protocol is breached, it means means they can access everything through it. Therefore, if this system is compromised, it could lead to unauthorized access to critical systems, such as email servers, including those that I manage. As I mentioned earlier, they were able to extract data from 6 million users through single sign-on and lightweight directory access protocol. However, as I mentioned earlier, even though passwords are stored in an encrypted form as required by law, they can still be compromised eventually. What I'm saying is, you're familiar with hash functions, right? In the process of mining something like Bitcoin, we continuously input various hash functions. Take SHA-256 as an example. Regardless of the input, it will always be represented as a 256-bit value. We use various hash functions and algorithms to encrypt and store this data. When I was in graduate school, I used to set up email servers, and I would always copy the user info file containing each user's keys separately while moving the server. So the encrypted password is known, but the real password isn't. But even if you only know this, you could still test various things and eventually crack it. So, just the fact that this password was leaked poses a risk. How did Oracle react when the hacker mentioned it? On March 21st, Oracle denied it. On March 21st, they said it never happened, just as I mentioned earlier. They report that 6 million data records were compromised, but Oracle insists there was no breach of their cloud services. Furthermore, they clarify that the data in question does not belong to Oracle Cloud. Oracle said there were no customer data breaches in their cloud services. This was on March 21st. When was it published in Security Week? This information was confirmed by Oracle on April 4th. They admitted to experiencing a data breach, a hacking incident. Here we see the date, March 21st. During this period, specifically on March 21st, Oracle initially denied the breach and continued to deny it. However, take a look at this. From March to April, the numbers saw a sudden decline. I believe everything dropped during this period. It seems these events had some impact. Oracle kept denying it until they had to admit it. A security company called CloudSEK did a thorough analysis. After thoroughly examining the post by the user Rosepal7168, it was found that the hacker had indeed claimed responsibility for uploading files directly to the cloud, which led to the discovery of these significant issues. When we checked the server, we discovered that the most recent update was back in September 2014. This means that the server has not been updated for over 10 years. Let's see why this is an issue. The investigation showed this vulnerability wasn't properly handled. There is something called CVE, which stands for Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures. So there's an international standard known as CVE, which is designed to identify and manage software vulnerabilities effectively. This standard also thoroughly addresses the CVE 2021-3587 issue. This means that in 2021 it was very dangerous. It could be exploited. It was deemed highly dangerous. An update was urgently recommended. So what kind of vulnerabilities are there? There was a risk that other hackers could access the system via HTTP and manipulate it without any special authentication. It was found in 2021. It was very serious. An update was needed. However, according to the investigation by CloudSEK, this login server, the part the hacker breached, was last updated in September 2014, which is problematic. Do you know what's even scarier? Here, you can see the last update was in 2014. CloudSEK says it was activated on February 25th, 2025. This matches the hacker's claim. There are indications that suggest an incident did occur, and all the evidence keeps corroborating it, affirming its accuracy. In the end, the hacker used this link to break into the system, taking advantage of a vulnerability in Oracle Fusion Middleware 11G. This enabled them to seize control, extract user data, and compromise the SSO and LDAP systems. Currently, the system has been switched to offline mode. This was used in the past. Actually, no customer data was leaked. They want to claim this. But looking at the evidence, it seems the data was breached. Initially, Oracle said they did not use this at all. They mentioned that this had an impact on the system referred to as Oracle Classic. This Oracle Classic was the older Oracle Cloud infrastructure, which was distinguished from the current Oracle Cloud product. It's like before smartphones, we just called feature phones mobile phones. When smartphones appeared, we had to distinguish the old ones, so we called them feature phones. They called the old cloud system Oracle Classic, and said only the first generation cloud servers were affected. Oracle claims it hasn't been used for 8 years, but some compromised credentials may still have an impact until 2024. Furthermore, there are circulating rumors that they are informing customers verbally and unofficially, without any written documentation. Meanwhile, this hacker, likely Rose7618, has 1,545 followers since March. They could become an influencer. Then on April 5th, they said stay tuned for the weekend, but it seems like nothing significant happened. Meanwhile, they keep talking about Oracle. On March 27th, an Oracle customer confirmed data had been stolen. The hacker mocked, saying, "Did I do it?" And similar incidents occurred. This is also a form of sarcasm. Researchers have observed that the Oracle Cloud issue was extensively exploited, largely due to the company's denial of the problem. The hacker even expressed gratitude towards CloudSEK for their detailed analysis. So, how does this make you feel? Cloud services are very convenient because we do not need to set up servers on premises. They are easy to manage, and startup founders can pay monthly without worrying about server maintenance. However, security issues can arise. The battle between security and hacking is ongoing. Remember the CrowdStrike incident with all the blue screens on Windows? This situation is quite similar. In the end, one security flaw can cause a complete system failure. This has become a major concern in the IT industry. Security issues are being highlighted highlighted more frequently. Users do not notice it because good security is unnoticeable, but when something gets exposed, it becomes a big issue. People get more sensitive about personal data. So if Oracle keeps getting breached and the hacker continues, this could get very serious. Since it's possible to access through single sign-on, if they have taken that information, they might have already extracted all the customer data. With the authentication details in hand, they could access other things as well. We need to investigate these issues further. If not addressed properly, Oracle could suffer significant damage. Cloud providers like Microsoft, Google, and AWS must highlight their security measures. So that's a brief summary for today. By the way, various merchandise is available at the Andy Engineering Store. The zip-ups worn by Yoon are quite popular. We welcome group orders. We have ensured high quality. Please make many purchases if interested. On our Instagram Unreal Tech Era page, we frequently share quick updates and short clips. If you want to stay updated with the latest information, make sure to follow us. This is Era, signing off.